at work.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Big Trouble in Little Podcast, episode 237. I am Joe Dubs.
I'm Andy.
I'm Zach.
Oh, from Chaz. I can't. That's clearly not a harmonica. That was a really
What the
weird
fuck
noise.
was that?
That was
It sounded like a fart.
It sounded like
weird-
an ass harmonica.
It kind of sounded like that chicken that was thrown in the ring by fucking Triple H.
No.
Oh,
Yes.
that's storytelling. Dubs, I swear, it's strike one. 3 strikes.
Strike one.
Gonna pull the ref. You're out of here. Although that doesn't count because they'll just come back and see. I'm doing it now.
Strike two.
See, you made me do it.
All you
Let's
need
talk
is
about a Western.
all you need is a fucking sweatshirt. But anyway,
Westerns are wrestling.
yes.
Yeah,
Wait, what?
yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
You're just showing your ignorance now.
Shit.
So just so that we were streaming on Couch Entertainment's last time, and we're still doing that today. I tried to do it on Kick, but apparently it didn't fucking work. So we're back doing it on Twitch because the plan that I got on StreamYard is you're only allowed to do 3 multi streams. So we're back on Twitch. So hello, Twitch people.
We're back, baby.
We're back.
We're back, baby.
And we're back, baby. Maybe next time. We're gonna be going right into the movie Once Upon a Time in the West. So let's get into it. Zach?
This is the greatest Western of all time.
Oh shit, we're
You guys want to just move on to news?
Bury the lead.
I'm sorry, Zach. I just immediately jumps in. It's like, here's the summary. Let's just jump to the end.
I mean, personally, in the beginning, I was a little bit wary. I was like, it's going way too slow for me. Like, shit happens, and then it just like, we're sitting around. But then things, like, in the halfway mark, was starting to, like, get interesting. I'm like,
Called building tension.
It was way too long, dude. I did like a million.
No.
I don't think it took that long to build tension. A whole fucking family and a child got shot.
You were like, nothing
Pretty
happens
quickly.
in the first. Yeah, exactly. You were like, nothing happens in the first half hour. A family is murdered in the first half hour. Charles Bronson kills those 3 guys in the first 5 minutes, and it's awesome. It's like one of the best.
I knew the
scenes in
family was gonna
Westerns.
die just based off of what we saw in fucking The Searchers. Besides Indians, it was just fucking outlaws and shit that were gonna do it. I thought I was gonna come, but I'm not shitting on it. I'm just saying it's just too slow for me.
Yeah, general PSA for people who've never watched Westerns who may decide, you know what, I think I am going to watch these movies. If you don't like watching children be killed and or just dead children, then
No, I love it.
Prepare yourself. They love fuck them kids in the Old West. That's how that is.
Children
I mean,
died.
it's rough. It's rough.
I mean, it's a good way to make a bad guy look really bad.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Killing kids, that's just cheap heat. That's some.
Cheap heat.
I'm gonna be doing it now. I can't let it go. All red ass.
It leads, like, the main thing is this family dies, and then you learn about, like, I do like the writing where it's just like, oh, he was building a fucking city, and there's like millions of dollars that are within that city that's being built. And I'm guessing that guy on the train is a politician or a rich guy, or both. Yeah.
Yes, he owns the railroad that he's building and further propagating through the Western territory.
And I'm guessing he
see the
wants to.
Pacific Ocean.
Yes, he's a rail baron.
Yeah. And he hires Frank, who's played by Henry Fonda, which, man, like, both Charles Bronson and Henry Fonda in this film, like, blow away John Wayne. Like, I give respect for John Wayne of what he's done in the Western movies and stuff. But, man, Henry Fonda and fucking Charles Bronson just kill it in this movie. It makes him more believable than John Wayne because, like, John Wayne's like, I'm gonna punch you in the face. You see?
Well, that's a different era. That he was great in his era. This is like a whole other era we're in right now. With a whole different take on westerns. The spaghetti westerns are usually rougher around the edges, a little darker, usually a little more grounded.
I think it's like the evolution of Batman. Batman went from silly to really dark and gritty. Such your western.
The Bad and the Ugly was the beginning of it, but this movie is like where Scare Leone gets into his like obsessive realism period. Everything in this movie and Once Upon a Time in America and everything after this is meticulously researched. Like a lot of it is like recreated from old black and white photos. So
that's really cool.
For better or worse, take that for what it is. But I really like I don't know why, but I've always really loved the very first set, the railway station with a long wooden gang. I almost said gangplank. I don't know what you'd call it. The loading platform. But it just looks really cool. And a few years ago, I was looking somewhere about westerns and saw the reference photo for that. That's just straight up what they did. They just laid down a bunch of lumber for like this big impromptu unloading area. It's just neat. That kind of attention to detail in it. But it still has all of his hallmark like tension and too cool for school gunfighting kind of stuff.
Weird close-ups.
Yeah, weird close-ups. He loves that. He's look how weird this guy is. There's a fly on his face.
He's got both of his eyes look in separate directions just at the same time.
Look how sweaty everyone is. It sucks here.
Yeah. I mean, I thought I guess we're already into it. They're like, there's something different about this movie in that the protagonist has these idiosyncrasies that are just there that you follow through the movie, and at first it's like, well, it's kind of strange, but like
who's the protagonist in this movie?
But now you're making me question. I don't remember his fucking name. What was Charles Bronson's character?
Harmonica.
They just called him Harmonica. Okay,
yeah,
I was like, I'm not missing anything. Okay,
yeah, Youngblood.
You think Harmonica's the only main character?
Chuck Youngblood, huh? Well, I didn't hear you, Andy.
He was saying, you think Harmonica is the only same character or the only main character in this?
Oh, no, not at all. I just meant just in terms of, again, you could have a set of characters that are both protagonists, antagonists, depending on how the story plays. But I'm just referring to Harmonica. And the first person you see, like, he has these, like, idiosyncrasies that aren't explained. Like, again, he's just a very mysterious person. But it's paid off so well because of when you find out why he's on this mission that he's on at the end, it ties in all those little things, like the harmonica, which again it seems kind of obvious, but there are little things that he does about the little song that he plays and why he does some of the little mannerisms and stuff that he has. I also thought it was in the same way. Leone likes to do all those close-ups, but especially on Henry Fonda, he would do the close-ups and he would try to catch those eyes. Like there are different times, like if he's actually in the midst of like looking like he's going to be evil or harming someone, he's got like the bloodshot eyes. Versus there are other times he comes in and he's just got those like huge baby blue eyes, and he's not in the scene or a scene where he's going to harm someone or be evil or kill somebody or whatever. And to me, again, I just kind of thought at first, maybe that's nothing, but it seemed more relevant because he would put more detail in looking at his face like that, and then that's the exact like situation he was in whenever they do the flashback at the end of the movie. Like again, it's like a lot of the same cuts, a lot of the same focus on his eyes, so it's making you see that and realize, okay, that's exactly what Harmonica is thinking, and it's like the message or the image in his head that is driving him to get his revenge. Again, it's what I at least took from it, and I fucking loved it.
There are certain times where I thought Charles Bronson character was a gray area, and they do a good job of that because when I'm just gonna call her the whore from New Orleans because I forget her name, Mrs. Bram or something like that.
Mrs. McBain.
Good Jill.
McBain.
I keep thinking of her as Claudia because that's the actress's name. I know her from she's in 8.5, which is a fancy pants Federico Fellini movie. But anyway, but she's also in Pink Panther.
You know the part where like her and Charles Bronson character meets, and he's like pushing her down, and like, is he gonna rape her or
Yeah,
something?
what is that scene? Why does that happen? And then he's just like, you know what? I won't rape you. I'm too thirsty right now. Like, what? What?
It's almost like he was challenging to see what she would do.
Maybe.
That's the way I took it at first, because then what happens right after?
He goes out and murders two guys that tried to murder her.
Well, I meant like in terms of her, like shortly after that is when Frank comes to her, and it's got the same situation. And what does she do? She's back in that corner. She's like, nope, well, fuck my way out of this situation. I mean, that's what happened. I feel like that's what happened. He challenged her, and he also like specifically was looking at her arms. So I almost wonder if he was looking to see if she's hiding something. Maybe, I don't know.
I think
strange.
I think he used her as bait, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's weird. Like why did he do all that shit? I think he knew guys were out there, and he was like fucking stalling for time or some shit. Decided to like fucking rip her sleeves off and shit. Told her, why don't you go get me a drink of water? That's a very odd thing to do.
And he wanted it from the wells, like, go outside.
Yeah.
So I think he knew people were. He always knows when people are out there about to get him. It doesn't matter how, when, where. Even for other people, he just knows there's fuckers coming here to get ready to cause a gunfight. He just has like spidey sense about it. Mm-hmm. So he sent her out there to like draw him out.
Well, he knew she has a target on her back at this point.
Yeah.
I do like Cheyenne, by the way. The guy that Charles Bronson meets in the bar, I guess. That bar was fucking nuts.
There's a lot going on in that bar. Yeah.
That's got one of my favorite lines in this movie too. Like when Jill McBain goes in there and she's talking to that guy, he's like, "Are you from New Orleans?" He's like, "I got a cousin in New Orleans." That's where the Cheyenne comes in, and they have a weird tension-filled confrontation. And then there was gunshots and shit before Cheyenne came in anyway, and then that he makes the guy shoot his chains off so he can free him and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
All that stuff happens there right when they're done. He's like, "Yeah, New Orleans." This weird, another weird close up of this weird, creepy guy's face. Is like, "I love the quiet country living too much to go to New Orleans." I'm like, "What?"
I like that bar. I like that barkeeper. He had a lot of character.
Yeah.
I know it's kind of weird. The first time I saw this movie, I did really like it, but it didn't stick with me. Like, I couldn't remember what happened in it. It's been years since I saw it. I think I like Cheyenne the most of all the characters.
He's interesting. He's in a different way. Like, I don't know. Like, you got three prototypical kind of like Western characters in Henry Fonda, Charles Bronson, and that guy Cheyenne. I can't remember his actor's name.
He's not very famous. Jason
Robards.
Robards. I only know that because I have IMDb open, and I was like, "What else is this guy in?" And I tried to look it up, and I was like, well, "Fucking not very much." He's in a lot of television shows, and
he looks very familiar. But
again,
that's kind of thing with westerns.
His shaved face, especially, I was like, I know I've seen him in something, but I scanned his IMDb and I can't figure out what it was.
It keeps bugging me every time I look at him too. I'm like, I feel like I've seen this guy in something. I don't know what. But
they're all characters. But I feel like Jill McBain is another main character. There's 4 characters in this.
Yeah.
I mean, Frank's the bad guy, and there's a few times where you like kind of like when he's trying to get out of town and Harmonic's helping him a little bit. Like you kind of root for him a little bit, but not really.
That train, by the way, of the rich dude, like I kind of like his setup because he like gets off the crutches and his little bars like come down so that he can like climb it like monkey bars throughout the train.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was hilarious. I like the rich guy, like, you know, when they're all on the train, his goons and stuff, and he's like, "I want to play poker with you guys," and then you see the next scene of like Frank. Going up to during the bidding stuff for the land, and Frank is getting like shot at by his own people, and Charles Bronson is like helping him and stuff. Like that scene was very interesting and very well done to the point where like Frank is like, "Why the fuck is this guy helping me?" And I also like that I started getting like suspicious of Charles Bronson because he started like naming people that are dead already. He's like, that man's dead.
That
Who
guy's
are
dead.
you?
It's a dead man. Yeah.
Chuck Youngblood, Aaron Carr.
I really like the answer that he gives Claude or Jill. She says, "Why did you help him? You saved his life." He says, "I didn't let them kill him." There's a big difference.
Yeah, and then she gets all mad, but she doesn't realize. Well, again, at this point, we don't know what his motivation is, but up to that point,
Revenge.
you know that he had every intention of meeting Frank at that station and confronting him then, and he didn't get that. He had to kill the three guys, which again, it's probably one of my favorite quotes from the movie. There's a lot. There's a lot of good quotes from this movie. It's very quotable. When they're talking about the horse, he was like, we're one short, and he's like, no, you brought two too many.
They're like, oh shit! Like all three of them are like collectively like, okay,
what? Yeah. But then when he refers back to that, when he meets
Frank
Cheyenne in the bar,
Okay, Cheyenne.
I think it's Cheyenne is who brings up the 3 bullet thing. He's like, oh yeah, there were 3. I saw 3 of those jackets. There were 3 men inside of them, and inside of those 3 men were 3 bullets.
yeah,
Like really smoothly, just very tense.
I really like when he meets Frank for the first time. He says, "Oh, so you're the guy who likes to make appointments," and Harmonica says, "Yeah, and you're the guy who likes to not make them, or not likes to miss them." I think he
Likes
says.
to miss them,
Yeah.
yeah.
I also like the
Where were
callback
you,
where,
bitch?
where Cheyenne and what was the name? Gil again? What's her name?
Jill.
Jill.
Ms. McBain.
Gil.
I don't know.
Gil's
Miss
in Street
McMahon.
Fighter. It's the wrong thing.
I always just think about the Arnold Schwarzenegger character in The Simpsons, McBain.
Yeah. When she's talking to Cheyenne and she's like all pissed off because literally she found out her husband, which got married, that was a surprise that was going to happen during the party, and seeing the family dead and stuff, and he's like asking for like, he's like, do you make coffee? And then like we get a call back where she's actually happy to make him coffee. I thought that was a nice touch of a scene. And by the way, did Cheyenne tell her like, hey, you should go out there with all the workers, and if they touch you, you just,
Yeah, that's a bit of a dated comment.
yeah.
Yeah.
If they sexually harass you, it's okay. They earned it. Wait, what?
Yeah.
Listen, they're just around a bunch of sweaty dudes all fucking day.
Mhm.
Let them get a little ass pat in. Jeez.
And she wears fucking revealing clothes that when she started like giving water, like all the men were just
Monica ripped her dress open.
yeah.
She's got dresses. She's got
She got
money.
those dresses. Yeah, she's one of those Nolans harlots.
Nolan's Harlots. That's the women's basketball team name right there.
the New Orleans Harlots. I don't know how that'll fly. Maybe
That's
make
in
the
the
Derby team.
what's the XFL equivalent for NBA? Like, let's make the XFL equivalent for that. And do that. Let's start a head fund.
What's that weird sport that was like trampoline, basketball, hockey?
Oh yeah.
What the fuck was it called? It was on Spike. It's made a comeback apparently. I mean,
Really?
it's well,
Slam
the
ball, I think it's
slam
called.
ball. That's it. It's
That's
called
it.
slam ball.
Slam
It's
ball,
made-
power slap.
Yeah, it's exactly. It's the power slap of basketball. That's what.
Oh.
Anyway, yeah, you bring me.
We got
use that team
derailed
name.
here. We need to get back on the rail.
Yeah, back on the train.
When Frank is talking to her and like saying, I Western Union or telegrams and stuff, and he starts doing like Morse code on her fucking back, like near her ass and shit. He's like, you're a whore from New Orleans and stuff, and that's when she kind of like has to fuck her way out. I also feel like in her old ways, like she didn't know who to go to, right? Because like she goes to Cheyenne and says, you're handsome. He's like, I'm the wrong guy. And then like Charles Bronson comes in, he's like, he's the wrong guy too.
Yeah, he just tells her like, no, he's not the right guy either. There's something in him about death. It's like, whoa.
Mm-hmm. I think the thing of Cheyenne is like, which is sad after the fact. It's like he has to leave because he knows he's dying.
Yeah.
Right? Like after the fact, it's like, oh, he should have been the one she stayed with. Like it
Yeah.
even seems like maybe that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
But he has to leave because he's got a mortal wound. Like he's gonna die, and he doesn't want to die in front of her after all that she's been through.
The first
really
time
sad.
you see this movie, it's like really weird because you don't know why he's acting so strange.
Mm-hmm.
It's like all of a sudden he's like more boisterous, kind of jokey, and then now he's like all reserved and serious all of a sudden. And then it's only later when he goes outside with harmonica, he looks at his underneath his jacket and you see, oh, he's been fucking gut shot.
I thought for a second, like, he was like, I don't know, being a child, and he's like, I don't want to leave. Like, that's what I thought initially. And then he explains that, like, he got shot in the stomach and he's like gonna die and stuff.
I thought he was having a heart attack. The way he first stopped, he's like, I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Is this guy gonna have a heart attack here? And then, of course, they reveal he's at the wound. It's like, oh, it might as well be that. He's dying. Okay.
Mhm.
And I actually, enough had happened because I was so caught up in how the ending played out with Harmonica and Frank. I had forgotten about that, like, very brief thing where the like, what did he call him? The madman or something that chased him when he got put on the train?
The train man.
The choo-choo man.
Choo-choo man. That's what he called it. Choo-choo man.
The choo-choo man shot him in his panic. I guess he had a fancy revolver with engravings that provide no tactical advantage whatsoever.
Dude, that train combat scene was fucking awesome, by the way.
Yeah, that was cool.
Just like how Cheyenne was like put his gun in his boot and it looked like he was about to like grab the boot.
That's super cool, but like he ruined his boots.
Yeah.
Fuck, he'll steal some other asshole's boots or something.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, I agree with Andy in that Cheyenne has like an endearing quality about him. It's funny because he's supposed to be the bad guy, but he's like almost charming.
Yeah, I think
in
so.
a way.
He's like he's a rogue. He's roguish.
He's that lovable scoundrel guy.
You like him for the same reason you like Han Solo or someone like that.
Or
like,
Ugly in our last movie. It was our dude. Who's like that again. These three almost play those same roles. Harmonica not the same way. I don't think he comes off as good. He is literally just revenge. He just finds a way to get to it. I think he's much more great.
Personified.
He is. He's just fucking Ghost Rider, basically. He is literally just revenge, and he's finding in whatever way he can to get it. It seems like he's doing the right thing, and in some ways he's done a couple things that are right. But he's not going out of his way to just save a bunch of people. He's still got a hellbent plot to just kill Frank. It just so happens Frank's also fucking over a lot of other people.
Yeah, just coincidentally, Frank is working for this railway baron guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he could have been working for an orphanage. It wouldn't have mattered to Harmonica.
Need to burn that orphanage down. Fuck them kids. It's the West.
That rich guy died, right? Like he was like drinking that.
Eventually,
yeah.
Very, very agonizingly, he dragged his snail ass to the fucking the little muddy puddle of water. And
that
died.
rich guy. I always like to point out connections with other movies we've seen. Do you guys know where we've seen him before?
No.
I couldn't place him.
You wouldn't. This has been a while. He's the henchman in On Her Majesty's Secret Service.
Ah. Okay.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like 100 years ago we watched that, and he's not even in that movie that much. He just kind of like is a jerk a few times to Bond, and they have a fight, but
he kicks his ass.
It's him. It's the same guy. Yeah.
That's one of my favorite Bond movies.
Ditto.
But yeah, like you start to like kind of feel for Frank a little bit, you know, with the whole like his team turning on him and like Charles Bronson possibly.
I didn't.
Yeah. What the fuck movie did you watch, fucking Hitler sympathizer? He shot a kid in the fucking face at the beginning of the movie. I hope he rots in hell.
Well,
I don't feel bad for him.
He also bad person.
Yeah.
He also killed Charles Bronson's brother.
It's Zionist. Get the fuck.
They're yeah.
I'm just giving shit.
Not for the same reason as Dubs, but there are a few moments where I like want to sympathize with him because when I see him, all I see is juror number 8 from 12 Angry Men.
Oh, sure.
It's something about him is that he's always that character, no matter how many things I see him.
His baby
in.
blues too. His baby blue eyes. It's really easy. I can see
his
like
eyes.
he is even though he's bad, he's also kind of charming in a way.
I think you just really like Henry Fonda, and that's
no,
fine.
yeah, you're right. I love Henry Fonda, but yeah, in the movie, he's a bastard.
You know what's funny is I heard that this was like a huge turn for him because previously he had been in like westerns and shit before, and he was like always a good guy.
Good guy.
And because of like his appearance and shit, and his natural likability and acting ability and shit. And this time, he made a huge asshole, And
I mean, yeah.
and I think another
That's
thing
weird
about
because
this,
we watched John Wayne's heel turn. Now we're watching Henry Fonda's heel turn.
yeah.
Mhm.
And another interesting thing about this movie was originally Leone wanted Clint Eastwood to be harmonica,
Mm-hmm.
and Clint Eastwood was like, "No, I don't think so, partner." And then so he settled for Charles Bronson. And what's funny is after watching this movie twice now, I can't imagine Clint Eastwood doing this
No.
part.
It would
It's
be a
like-
different movie. Yeah.
It'd be very different.
There's something like in the Dollars trilogy, not knowing enough about Clint Eastwood's character feels fine to me. It feels natural. But I don't know, in this movie, not knowing enough about harmonica makes me want to know more. Like I never questioned a lot of things about the Man with No Name. I was just like, okay, no, this checks out. This makes sense. Of course, this is his motivation. But with harmonica, the whole movie, I'm like, oh, what does he want? Why is he hunting Frank? Like, what is his end game here? And I would not have liked Eastwood in that role for that reason.
No, Eastwood has the same thing with that Fonda does in a way. Eastwood is just too like, he's too handsome. He's just got too much charm to him, even when he's not meaning to be. I mean, not saying he can't be a bastard, but Bronson's just very gritty, and that is what helps this. At
Well,
least to me.
the thing with the harmonica, I do like that it had meaning, because if it would just been like this guy just has a harmonica and he's like all cool and shit because he plays the harmonica and shoots at the bad guys. I do like that they put meaning to it. And dude, that fucking part where you see him as a young boy helping him at helping his brother, or trying to help his brother, I guess. And then he puts the harmonica in his mouth, and dude, I fucking cheered. I was like telling Bronson, put the fucking harmonica in his mouth, put it in his mouth, and he did it. And I was like,
Yeah.
And then you see it realize the realization creeps over his face, and he fucking dies. Awesome.
Yeah. Oh, no, that like whole sequence is fucking great. It's that realization. Ah, shit, that's who this is. Because like the best part of that whole thing is you're wondering what Harmonica's story is because of how he's acting. You can't completely tell, like 100%. You can't say, oh, there's clearly some reason. Especially after he saves Frank. But again, it's kind of implied. Okay, he wants to kill him for some reason, but we don't know why. And then you get that backstory. And I don't think it's that he's trying to help his brother. I think they put him in that position. Yeah. They definitely just set him there, and the whole plan was, oh yeah, we're gonna let you be the one to keep that on your shoulders, and you're gonna let your brother die, and then you're gonna fall to the ground, and we're gonna leave you here for dead. And problem is, he didn't die, so they fucked up there. That's why Frank shoots people in the face now. But anyway, he got old. He's like, fuck them kids. Yeah. I don't know.
He always had a problem with kids, apparently.
Yeah. Well, I guess I actually didn't say this before. It actually plays with the dynamic of harmonica is, again, for all intents and purposes, he is the oh shit. Why am I blanking? I'm having a stroke. He doesn't have a name. He's the man with no name. He's just there. But again, they call him harmonica because that's just what. Okay, he's got that weird harmonica. We don't know much about him, but because Frank has been just so vicious over the years and done so many things, it's legitimately a mystery to him. He's trying to figure it out, and then meanwhile, his character's been chasing Frank down over the years. He knows all these people that he's killed, and he's like, well, that's a dead man. You can't, like, he's going through the list, and it's just because to Henry Fonda's character, Frank, it doesn't fucking matter. He's killed so many people. Like, it's kind of the saying from the Street Fighter movie. It was like the most important day of your life, but to me, it was just another Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yes. Exactly. That's kind of how it is. So yeah, Bastard deserves it. I don't feel bad for him. I actually really like the poker scene, by the way. Again, I thought that was really well nuanced because I think they immediately go to the next scene where the guys are bidding the same amount of money he gave out to each person. So it almost gives off this facade like he paid them just to go in there and auction off and try to buy it off. No, he was actually paying them to go kill Frank.
And I also like how they made it like to the point where he was scared to go to the table because, like, in his brain, he's like trying to make the decision on what he wants to do. It on the screen, it looks like he's afraid of these fucking goons on, playing poker instead of just, eventually finding out that he's paying these people to go kill Frank and stuff. So that's where I like, again, kind of sympathize, not in the fact, like, forget that, let's just say he didn't kill that child, right? But like at that moment where like people are turning on him, you kind of sympathize a little bit at that part. Like, oh fuck, his operation's coming down. I'm saying me. Again, you have to get the fucking little kid out of your brain that she's getting fucking shot at, and even the fucking kid who came out.
There's more than one kid too. He kills 3 kids and a man.
Yeah,
he kills a family.
I mean, here's the thing. Like, again, and that's a very critical point of the movie. So, like, it's hard to just, if you take that out of the movie, then there's a big piece of it missing. If they were like the mystery, if we don't know why he's chasing him, and he was kind of like just in the gray area, we didn't know. Then yeah, sure, you could maybe play that out. But at that point, again, if you were just drawn into other stuff and thinking in the right in the superficial level, oh yeah, his guys betrayed him, but he's also a fucking Western outlaw. He's again, that's what they do to each other: stab each other in the back to rob and kill.
You know what Morton said earlier in the movie when he's talking to fucking Frank about, like, he's like, I want to be like you. How's it feel to sit behind that desk? And he's like, it feels powerful. And he's like, well, there's one thing that'll always beat a gun. And he like pulls out the big old fucking thing of money. Yeah, that was it right there.
Mm-hmm.
Worked out real well for him, though, didn't it?
Yep. I love that. He just sits down with him and he's like, I'll deal. It seems like he's going to just play cards with him. It's just money.
Okay, there is a strange thing that happens right before that. And it's like you said, he's trying to build up the courage to go, and he just stares at that picture with the fucking crashing wave, and
he wants to see the ocean.
Yeah.
He's tired of sitting here in this.
Yeah,
this bullshit dust bowl. He's like, I got to make progress.
Yeah, no, I'm aware of the meaning behind it. It's just funny how they do that close up of like the picture. It's like the way the music's playing at the time. I just thought it was funny. Actually, that's a good segue. How about the music? The score to this movie.
I like that.
Wonderful.
I like that track that plays over the big fights with the electric guitar and the harmonica. It's so cool. I love it.
Oh, it's so epic.
Yeah.
I also like how they make random background noises in this movie. Essentially, a backing track, like when they're on the station platform in the beginning, you hear like that windmill creak and some other stuff, and that's all you hear for like
really
a
good
while.
Sound design throughout.
Yeah, no, the score to the movie is really good, especially when actually I was a little upset. Like at the beginning of the movie when they're building up, they actually use more of that orchestral score, and it's beautiful. And then they just stop using it. I guess because much more action happens, and then at the end of the movie they use it again. They typically play it when Jill is on screen. Yeah. Like anytime she's on screen, they play it. Yeah, but it represents her. But they don't use it throughout like the middle of the movie. Just more the beginning when she's first showing up, and when she finds her family has been killed, her family to be.
Was it her family?
Well, that's what's so weird about it, right? It's like it kind of sucks because it's like she doesn't know the kids yet, but this whole family, she had this whole life that she was ready to start, and it's just been taken from her in a way.
Yeah, she's ready to stop being a hua and live the life. What about the fucking pimp slap fucking sound effects that were happening?
Oh, that's what the message about. I think it was like 19 minutes in. That is a great sound effect. Yeah. Hell of a slap.
And the face off between Bronson and fucking Frank, dude, like out of all the Western movies that we've seen, like that is the best face off like I've ever watched, period, I think.
It's even got the best details. Frank's looking for like where the sun's at. He's trying to position himself fucking in front of it.
And I kind of like that they just like go in the backyard and like shoot, and then like they come, and, like fucking Bronson comes in, like everybody hears the shot. They're just like,
there's like 100 guys nearby.
Yeah. And then
that's probably some dynamite or something. Who cares?
Mm-hmm. And he goes in, and like Bronson's like, I gotta leave. Here's my thing, like when it's a Clint Eastwood movie like A Man with No Name, like I understand I gotta keep on going and all that stuff. But in Bronson, he kind of like finished his mission, right? He killed the guy that killed his brother. Wouldn't you want to like start having fun with his life finally and be with Jill?
We don't know. That's his character. He like now this is you guys ready for some pure Reddit bullshit from me here?
Yeah,
This
me
is something I
bringing
came
that
up
to
with.
the table.
Is his brother's killed and he's left for dead. What if he did die and he's just like an avenging angel? That's why he knows the names of all the men that Frank has killed. He wasn't present at all their murders. He's just the personified. He's Ghost Rider, like you said.
He's Ghost Rider. Yeah,
He's the personified spirit of vengeance that has come for Frank because of all of his murders. And that's why at the end he can't stay and be happy with Miss McBain. He has to move on because his mission is complete. He has to pass on to either the next act of vengeance or back to hell or whatever.
yeah.
I know it sounds like some bullshit Garth Ennis would write, but I don't know. It came to mind.
But you know what? That has more legs than what we heard from
last week.
Yeah,
It definitely does. Like to say, no, hang on. See, it explains his Spidey sense about there always being guys.
Exactly. He has like supernaturally good gun skills and presence, and like he sensed danger when Frank was leaving town. He's like, these motherfuckers are gonna kill Frank. I can't let them kill Frank. And he just like barges in on her taking a bath and is like spotting the guy pointing the gun through the tarp and stuff. He's supernatural. He's an avenging spirit.
He also no-sold being shot by a mare's leg. Fucking
That's true.
Short rifle, which is that shoots fucking rifle bullets, man.
He's just like laid there for a second and was like, well, I guess I got to put my arm in a thing for a while, and then it's healed in like a day or something.
Yeah, he just has like a little bullet hole with some ketchup in it.
It doesn't seem like he actually put his arm in a sling because he's hurt. He put it in a sling so people would realize, oh, he's hurt because he has a spot in his jacket.
Maybe.
Yep.
Yeah, it's because, oh man, you got shot in the fucking shoulder. Are you okay? And he's got his arms like, I'm all right. Because like you said, immediately after he's healed up, it's not even bothering him.
Did he even get off that train, or did he just spawn?
He's see,
yeah.
That bar scene, by the way, like was even weird. Like the only people that saw Bronson was Cheyenne and Jill. Like that guy that gets up and helps Cheyenne shoot his handcuffs and stuff. Like that whole area was like I'm not fucking signing on to the Reddit fucking weirdos, but like I'm just saying it has legs.
This one's mine. I came up with this one.
But like,
well, you're not alone.
Weird.
Apparently, there are people on the internet that I just literally just like looked in here to see if there's anything here. And
it seems like the more I thought about it, the more I was like, man, this seems like really kind of on the nose.
Is Luke Skywalker the same one in each movie?
No, sometimes it's Big Luke.
Did Paul McCartney die in a car accident and they replaced him?
Yes, he did. Paul's dead.
Miss him.
I mean, I know it gets some silly theory about that, but it is interesting. But it does tie into the fact too, even if he is, again, he's just a person, he's there, his motivation, he never once really breaks or caves in to any other temptation, like whether it's to do something really good for someone. Every single decision he makes in the movie is very cold, it's calculated, and it is directly to get to Frank in the moment that he wants him. Like even if it seems like him buying the whole thing and like building it, it seems like it's this nice thing. It's a means to an end. He's still just trying to find a way to get to Frank. That's why he doesn't stay with her at the end, because he actually didn't give a shit about her. He's like, that's great. You have your great whore's life out here in the West. I'm leaving because my whole reason to be here was to fucking kill Frank. Like
she's ready.
That's
ready
kind
for
of
Ram Ranch.
You want to hear my big brain epic theory? It's not really a theory. It's like a theme, I guess, the thematic theory thing. Harmonica kills Frank. He's dead. And then they're out there building the railroad. And then Cheyenne's like, well, I got to go too. See ya. They're right out there. And then he like flops off of his horse. And he's like, oh, I'm fucking dying. And it's like the moment he just plops over dead. And it's like Harmonica's leaving too. He's like, I got to go. He's leaving as well. You know what's happening in the background? The railroad's getting built. civilization has come and it's wiped out the old West. All these old guys, dead or gone.
That's 100% what they're trying to say with that. Yes.
Yeah.
It also feels like a Twilight Zone episode, right? Like always when like, oh, you're actually dead. You need to go, to heaven or hell and stuff. And what Cheyenne, like right when Harmonica leaves, Cheyenne is like, I gotta go too, and then he dies. Like feeding off of that theory, like it makes sense, kind of. Like is he the guardian angel of heaven, just fucking being like, I gotta take all the dead people and all that stuff.
It's interesting.
It's interesting. I kind of want to rewatch it now and read that fucking Reddit theory.
You should rewatch it anyway, because I have a theory that, well, except for Chaz, apparently it just worked a miracle for him the first time. It seems like people that watch this movie the first time, they're like, that's pretty good. And then you watch it again, and it like takes a lot better.
Dude,
that was definitely my take.
Was fucking slapping apparently because I hit like detail and I watched something. I was like, holy shit, that tied back to this. Like I was really on it when I watched this movie.
You're just dialed in for this movie. Like the first time I saw it, I was like, that was pretty cool. And then the second time I watched it, I was like, oh, it's even better. And I'm not gonna lie, there's times where I just randomly I get bored and I look up that fucking duel because that's like the thing I remember most about that movie.
I've already watched the duel and the flashback 3 times. And it's so fucking satisfying.
It is.
Oh shit, it's so good.
Probably one of the most satisfying payoffs of like movies ever is like that scene. I feel
like I mean that the takeaways for this, because we can keep going on and on about nonsense about it. Takeaways: the start of this movie is fucking awesome.
Yes, I love it. I didn't get to say that how much I loved it.
Oh yeah, the start of the movie is so fucking great. Again, there's tons of good quotes throughout the movie. And again, it's not for me to say, oh, the beginning is good, the end is good, you should watch it. There's a lot of meat in the middle. It's 3 hours. I mean, like it actually rewards you for paying attention, which, again, to me it's not to say it's a rare trait in a Western. I mean, obviously paying attention is good, but he does such a good job of tying little details in that pay off later. And that is what's so great. It's not just again, for as much as we said last time, sometimes a story is just a story, and that's okay. And it can be good too. But sometimes when there really is like that tie-in where it's like, oh shit, that actually mattered, it's that much better and satisfying. The ending to this is probably my favorite ending, at least that duel, rather, is my favorite ending to a Western. Like that final battle or climactic battle. That's fantastic. And I even liked kind of how it ended in that somber way of Cheyenne kind of getting what happened to him and stuff. Like, because again, going back to the weird theory, like he's some angel of death or revenge or something. It's like the moment he fell, he knew, even though he made a noise, but like he turned over and he almost even seemed interested trying to figure out who killed him. Like he was immediately going to make that his next mission and get revenge because he's like, decent man dies. I better go avenge him. But then he just moves on.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I fucking loved it.
The comedic moments in this movie wasn't too much. Like I like the part where the train he kept on hitting the fucking flushing toilet thing. Like he would like hit it just to climb out, and then he would climb back in and hit the flush in the toilet because they would look and shit, and then he would punch people. And Bronson like laughing at everybody getting shot from Cheyenne while he's just standing there was fucking hilarious too. Like I actually like that moment because I think that's like one of the rare moments in the movie where he shows emotions. Actually, was on the train where he's seeing Cheyenne do this stuff.
He shows emotions in Death Wish. He vomits in a toilet after shooting a guy.
Yeah.
He was like, yeah, I got revenge. Then he was like, oh God. He went home and threw up.
Oh man. This is almost like this movie alone has almost helped serve to maybe make my next theme for movies that I want to do, but I'm not.
Westerns Part 2.
Westerns, but I was actually going to take a different take on it. I was just revenge stories. And
Easterns.
Pick a couple that like the
Maybe
revenge plan goes well.
Anyway.
The revenge plan didn't go so well. I don't know.
What would Easterns be?
Samurai movies.
Oh, I was thinking about the East United States, not that.
Okay.
That's the Far East.
Yeah, Far Easterns.
Yeah. I mean Easterns. Fucking.
I guess Civil War movies.
I guess mob movies or Civil War movies. Yeah, Departed.
Depadded.
Are
you a cop?
cop?
You're not a fucking cop.
Get your hands off me, you fucking fairy. That's basically it. Because I can't say the real thing.
Oh,
You get it.
God.
Just a lot of like really bad slurs and they know how to use
It's
handguns.
Boston.
Fucking
Yeah,
wicked.
Boston fucking beans.
What else can we say about this movie?
I love that. I feel like Sergio Leone got better at somehow between that short period of time after Good, the Bad, the Ugly in this movie. It's like he got even more artsy in his weird cinematography shit and stuff.
Is there a 4K version of this movie? Because I really want it.
I think it was recently.
Presumably it was shot on 35 millimeter film at least, so it's possible.
It was very recently restored, like fully too. Like I think in 2018.
I bet it looks fucking beautiful in 4K because those shots, man, were really good.
Yeah,
I
like the stuff in the beginning where like those guys are in the station. You see each one of them in like a different area or something.
Mm-hmm.
Or like the guy, the weird reverse cross-eyed guy. It's like they're crossed out instead of in. He like goes out the outside. You see him sitting in the window through there. There's all kinds of weird little cool shots like that.
I like the one shot where like it goes over the building and then you see like the whole town and shit. Like I thought that was cool. I also like the part where Harmonica is like looking at the town and seeing all the goons and stuff. He's like, I see you got some new strategy. Or I'm paraphrasing, like strategies and
he picked up some new methods. You know?
Yeah. And then
you still learned some things from Mr. Morton, though.
And then some new, and then you see. I also like that they were also still trying to plan where they were gonna be. Like one was behind the house, and then they disappeared and went somewhere else. One was on the balcony, then jumped off the balcony. And dude, that billboard fucking guy, like, like, what a good eye, dude. Like, how the fuck, like that again? That brings up the stupid Reddit thing again. Like, how the fuck did he know?
I gotta give props to the guy that he shot off the roof, and he took a legit bump. That wasn't a dummy. That was a man. He fell through a fucking roof, and he landed hard on the ground. And I was like, oof, that guy deserved a bonus.
Yeah, respect.
Respect.
I like that Bronson like gave him the heads up. He's like, the time 12 o'clock, and even the guy. I also like the detail. Like even the guy's like, oh man, this guy's fucking my spot up, and then he like starts to like shoot and stuff. Because I thought what was gonna happen was Bronson was gonna get like an amazing headshot, like fucking FPS Doug and shit, like boom headshot, boom headshot, boom headshot. But no, dude gets shot and fucking falls like from the top of the Hell in the Cell through the fucking table and shit.
Broken in half.
He has a family, damn it. But I'm out of things to say. Like, bottom line from my final thoughts, and I'm sure if you guys have anything else you want to say, but I went in the beginning, I was a little shaky, but then things started getting better. This is probably one of the best Western movies that I ever saw ever. And that's something, and that's kind of showing my hand so far as what my ranking is going to be as the number one movie. But that could change in the next movie that we're going to see. But I highly recommend it. Andy, what about you?
Yeah, this movie is fantastic. Real quick, I just want to know for my own satisfaction, have you guys ever seen Once Upon a Time in America?
Not yet.
Mm-mm.
Okay, well, set aside a lot of time because it's like 4 fucking hours long.
It's like, yeah,
But it's after this movie, Leone made Duck, You Sucker. I talked about that last week because the movie kicks ass and it's a ton of fun and it's like a pretty good story. But it's like the Dollars trilogy in a lot of ways. Once Upon a Time in America is like Once Upon a Time in the West turned up to 12. Like it's a gangster movie instead of being a Western. It's De Niro and James Woods being whippersnapper little troublemakers and growing into gangsters pretty much. The movie gets lost in the conversation all the time about great mob movies because it takes place a little bit before like the golden era of like what people think the timing for mob movies would be, but it's the same kind of everything ties into everything else. Everyone's got very well defined motivation. So just the things I'm hearing you guys say about Once Upon a Time in the West, I think you'd really like Once Upon a Time in America, but it's got an intermission in the middle. Just watch it in 2 nights because that movie's long. And it's got a lot of Leone's long drawn out, like, oh, then look at the street. Oh, there's some kids playing. Oh, the street's bricky, isn't it? Oh, a car went by. Did you see how old that car was? There's a lot of that kind of stuff.
So what you're saying is it's an Eastern.
Yeah, it's an Eastern. Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, look at that. We found the Eastern.
We did it. Eastern mob movies.
But it was the last movie he made, and I think it's because he was exhausted after it.
I was gonna
Tired.
I was gonna ask you something about Sergio Leone because I was looking at his filmography and shit and reading about him, and he takes like a huge break after Duck You Sucker. Like he takes over 10 years off not doing anything.
I don't know the fine minutia of why and how that happened. I do know that Once Upon a Time in America, I believe he actually made in America with primarily American actors, and I think it was financed by Americans. And all of his other movies are famously made in Italy. They're all spaghetti westerns.
Yeah.
So I think he was like semi-retired, and then he was like working on Once Upon a Time in America, like, you know, with meticulously, like there's a lot of detail in it, like a Kubrickian almost attention to detail as far as making stuff historically accurate goes. Like he's obsessed with that. He, like I was talking about earlier, he would like he'd pull old photos and be like, what's got to look like this. And I think part of it was he was working on that movie for a while, and part of it was he just like had some money and could. But I'm not an expert on Sergio Leone.
I was trying to look it up, and I couldn't really find any good explanation for why he took such a long break. Also, I found out they tried to get him to direct The Godfather first, and he said no.
Yeah, believe it or not, they shopped The Godfather around to like 5 different people, and they're all like, this movie's going to be boring. This is not going to be a good movie.
I think he was just more interested in doing his movie. Now I come to find that out. He had his plans for this epic mob movie going back to the late 60s. This movie we've been talking about for the past 5 minutes, and he didn't get to do it till like about 10-12 years later than he wanted to.
I think part of it also, Duck You Sucker, I think was a flop. Maybe. I'm not sure if that's the case.
Once Upon a Time in the West was a semi-flop. Like it did really well in Europe apparently, but like in America it flopped, which is kind of weird and ironic. I think it's because it's too long. They edited it down. That's the thing. Everybody, even back then, people were like, this movie's too fucking long. They cut 15-ish minutes out for the American release, and it still flopped.
Yeah, look, straight up, I mean, if I'm looking for stuff that I need to gripe about with this movie and Good, the Bad, and the Ugly and Once Upon a Time in America, it's too fucking long, brother. Come on, cut it down.
What's funny about that, too, is apparently he became aware of that over time, that his movies are long, and it got to a point where he purposefully tried to make strides to like make them shorter. Like he had editors, he really tried to work with editors more and like dialogue people and shit to clean stuff up. And
man, imagine if he was alive today and HBO could pay him to make like a 10-episode miniseries Once Upon a Time in the West. Like, oh, come on.
That'd be so cool.
Yeah.
Apparently Scorsese's doing like a fucking 5-hour movie. Apparently
he just did. It was called The Irishman.
Well, no, it's another movie that he's fucking doing. I think for HBO Max or something like that.
I mean, straight up, good for him. I like that. I don't want every loser director to get to make these goddamn 3-4 hour movies I have to sit through. But if someone's really good, by all means, give them the money and the time, and I think we'll get something really. Did you guys all saw The Irishman, right?
Yeah,
I haven't
watched it.
Okay, well,
it's great.
It's great. It's fantastic. It's wonderful. Same thing. Like you don't have to watch all 4 hours, 20 minutes, however long it is, in one sitting. You know, you can break it up if you want. You think about it like it's a mini series if you want, but no, it's great and it's worth it. And I kind of feel that coming from these Leone movies a little bit, and I kind of want it to be either go all in or not. Like give me 2 hours and 20 minutes or give me 4 hours and 20 minutes. That's kind of my stance on these things. Because there's a few times in this movie, like I feel like we're missing when Cheyenne runs into the Choo Choo Man, for instance, and we're missing. There's another jump too. Oh, after Jill is abducted, it's just like I feel like there's a bunch of shit missing about. They just suddenly there's an auction, and then clearly they're like coercing her so that they can get all of her land.
Dude.
But I just felt like there was stuff missing there. Like that, I think that's where one of maybe
Yeah.
some of the cuts came out of.
There's a few times that happens. Yeah.
I want all or nothing. Like, give me a finely tuned 2-hour movie, or give it all to me. Like, give me everything you wanted to show.
What was that fucking bed that Frank and Jill were in? It looked like it was like fucking
suspended.
hooked. It looked
That
like
was it was giant sex swing, brother.
Yeah, I guess so.
Oh, but yeah, I'm supposed to say, yeah, this movie's great. By all means, watch it. Warm up with the Dollars trilogy before you watch this. That's my recommendation.
Mhm.
Sure.
All right, Zach.
Oh yeah, I agree. It's definitely not an appetizer. It's a main course.
Yes, definitely. That's actually a good analogy. But Zach, what's your final thoughts and recommend or not?
Yeah, just a great movie. It's probably one of my favorite westerns so far. There's still a lot I haven't seen, but yeah. Love the cinematography, all the stuff, the characterization. It's just a great movie. That's pretty much all I got to say.
All right, Chaz, what about you?
Okay, I'll say this, knowing that there's a grain of salt to take with it. So I need to watch this movie another time, maybe, to really stick behind this comment, but this is the greatest Western ever made. Or the greatest Western I've ever seen. Definitely my favorite right now. But, and I know there's like a lot of debate with this movie to Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. A lot of people just default to that being the best. And I'd probably say that was definitely up there for me. But yeah, this is right at the moment. This is my favorite. I just loved how it came together. Maybe I watch another time and I'm not like on some Adderall high or something, and I won't feel the same way. But
maybe you got to watch it uninterrupted. That seems to be a problem sometimes.
Yeah, no, I did get to watch this uninterrupted, which was great. That helped too. I didn't have work or life or other things just getting in the way, but just like I was in the right mood to just watch this. I've also been sick, which we'll get to talk about other stuff. But because of those things, I was just in the perfect mood to watch this, and it clicked. But like Zach was saying, like this movie actually is probably better as you watch it more because then you pick up on the little subtleties. I just happen to have the time traveling meet with me to make sure I remembered it all when it happened. But yeah, and also I've pulled up the other stuff. I am really fucking interested in watching Once Upon a Time in America. Holy shit! You got early
on Netflix
80s Pesci too.
Yeah.
Check that out.
All right. So Zach, what is the next movie that we're going to be covering next week?
Pale Rider.
Brother. Yeah, so remember to watch Pale Rider, and then we'll come back here, and we are going to talk about it. Remember, because we're on Couch Entertainments, and I actually got kicked to work on another OBS program, so we're on Kick right now, we do spoil things. So don't come in our show and be like, spoiler. Fuck, we spoil everything.
These movies are decades
too late
old.
for that now.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of what we're watching, yeah, you've had 50 years.
Yeah.
You can't watch every movie. You can't get mad if somebody's going to talk about it. Just get over it.
Yeah. So
Get over it.
before we get into the last word, we do have an ad. So be right back.
Wow! Oh, somebody put a microphone in front of me. You know what that means, brother. Yeah. I've heard all about this podcasting thing. I think I've been on it a time or two myself, I believe. It's a little intergalactic for me, a little out there, you know, but that's okay, brother. Yeah. Because on Getting Some Color, you can relive moments, me and my glory, and my moment of glory. Before the yellow and red Brutus, you know who I'm talking about, brother. Yeah, the guy who was backstabbing, hot dogging, grandstanding. Forget all about him. You can see the Macho Man in his glory days, or you can hear people talking about it at least. You can watch, too. But hey, that's not what's important. The devil's in the details. Sometimes the details aren't important. Sometimes they are. These details, they're a little bit important. You can get some color bi-weekly Thursdays, 10 p.m. Eastern. Be there or not, as they say. Wow! Wow, man, freak out, yeah!
I always think you're gonna say like, oh, I'm sorry. I always think Macho Man is always gonna say "be there" or "be squared," but like it goes away from that. I'm like, because he would say something like that. He would be like, "Be there, be squared." Yeah,
He had a very erratic speech pattern. It could be anything.
yeah. All right, so I'll go first. A lot of people could be surprised because I already know what Zach has done because he's already yelling at me. But I'm slow dripping through Resident Evil 4 remake.
Why are you slow dripping it so
barely.
much? Yeah. I think Andy's probably further than you are.
Yeah, he is further than me because I just got to the part where the house fucking siege and stuff. With
I just
Lewis.
got to the castle.
Yeah.
All right.
The shit. I
Dude,
haven't played since last week, so.
Dude,
You
that
failure.
I got to play like a bunch on Friday and played a ton of it. I haven't played since. I just haven't had time. But no, I played a ton of it.
Yeah, work life and illness has just kicked my ass, so I ain't touched them shit.
in WrestleMania, but we'll talk about WrestleMania if I can get some color.
I don't even go there. My ass is still chapped.
Oh,
We'll get there.
my.
Yeah, the house siege was interesting. Like, man, they fucking get to you quickly in that house.
It was rough. I
Yeah.
done died in that part.
I died a few times in that part.
It's funny, like when you get like into the mosh pit of like these fucking people and shit, and you're just like, get off of me! And the guy with the cow mask with the fucking sledgehammer and shit comes in and whacks me and kills me.
Yeah, I mean, making sure you guys are talking about, at least in relation to the older game, it's like chapter 2, section 2 or 3, when you're in that little cabin and you have to basically hold them off until some bullshit happens and you get out. It's like you and Luis and Ashley.
Well,
Yeah.
it's about chapter 4-ish in
This
the
game.
remake, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the same
Okay.
one you're talking about.
I mean, that part was, I mean, again, just thinking about it when I first played it and played it a couple, like that part's pretty difficult in the old game too, so it makes sense.
I feel like in the old game they give you more, and like in the remake, you just like, here's a couple bullets, fucking a hand
I think
grenade.
the same thing goes for the whole game. I just feel like they're stingier with the ammo. Maybe it's just because I played the old one so much. I got used to like being a better shot, not being panicky, conserving ammo better. But I feel like in this one, they're a lot stingier because enemies drop ammo less often. Now they're dropping like gunpowder and supplies, and you got to do it yourself. And I got to be like, do I want to hang on to this gunpowder because I need shotgun shells, or do I want to make handgun ammo now? Like,
Yeah,
Not to mention the knife thing matters, right?
oh,
Like,
for real,
and- Yeah, unless you've upgraded or something and made it unholy. Like, that knife in the old game mattered a lot because you could totally get away with, like, okay, bullshit, kick, and then you just, like, knife him to death, and you just save so much ammo.
No, I upgraded my knife entirely. Everything is maxed to now because I was like, this thing is just it's indispensable in this game.
Yeah, I need to do that.
Yeah, I at some points, because I'm like, I want to get all the gems so that I can put it on the treasure and have like a bigger price when I sell it to the merchant and stuff.
Mhm.
But there are at times where I'm just like, man, I want that fucking gun or that attachment, and I just sell it anyway.
What's your loadout? What guns are you sticking with? Did you get like the TMP or?
I got the Red 9, the TMP, and the rifle. The rifle is my go-to because I'm very fucking accurate. I can't fucking speak. You know what I mean? In the cabin.
Just
Fucking stroke. I saw a
I got
Accurate.
guns.
my shoot. Pop, bang, bang.
Very accurate with it. There you go. I got it out. Let me raise
Oh,
my hand.
one of my favorite moves
good.
is there's 2 or 3 of them running down a hallway at me. I'll just switch to the rifle and you just almost don't even aim. It's just like from the hip. You're just like bang. It's just like real quick. It's a great way to go.
and I like when you line them up and you get like fucking one bullet kills like 3 guys in a row, and especially when the fucking squid parasite thing comes out of the fucking head and you can just easily kill that.
I'm getting sick of those motherfuckers. They take too many bullets.
Dude, I'm fucking terrorized of the priest that I'm gonna have to fucking deal with when I get into the
of course,
cast.
the last thing I had to do. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'm to answer your question, Zach. The reason why I'm like slow dripping it is because I'm fucking trying to find everything. I'm like looking in fucking crevices and shit to find the bird.
I thought it's
nest.
because you were playing baseball.
Yeah,
Well,
you said you were playing baseball.
Well, again, even if I wasn't playing baseball, I'm still
Joe
trying to find
DiMaggio.
fucking medallions and shit.
Trying to find all the blue medallions in
Fucking assholes.
Field, whatever the name of it is.
Fuck King Griffey Jr. You need to save Ashley.
Dude, fuck Ashley. I fucking hate escort.
Fuck
missions.
you.
She's fine.
She's more than fine.
I know
Helpful,
she's fine,
right?
but I don't like it.
They've only grabbed her twice, and both times it was like 1,000% my fault.
I just don't like it. It gives me anxiety. I like to be alone, and I like to fucking.
I thought
do
you
shit.
like anxiety. That's why you play horror games.
No, I don't like anxiety of fucking taking care of other people. I like anxiety when I'm alone and I'm getting scared alone, not worried about a fucking child that I don't give a shit about, but apparently Leon does. Because
In his defense, the reason you like anxiety in horror games isn't the moment you're living it, it's after you've overcome it.
yes.
Yeah, so he hates it now, and later he'll be like, "Oh, this game's great." Oh,
Yeah, eventually when I fucking beat it and Ashley saved and she's like fucking Leon, Ashley's trying to hit on Leon on a fucking jet ski and stuff, I'd be fucking fine.
Seems like you're used to running away from creeps.
He actually says that's pretty funny.
He does, yeah.
It's probably okay that you're slow dripping it anyway, because I was going to suggest to you, hey, let's hold off on talking about this a little bit, because Mercenaries comes out Friday. The Separate Ways DLC could come out then. It could come out later. We might need to hold back on talking about it.
Dude, I'm trying to fucking also finding out, by the way, that going in an elevator, there's a fucking shooting range where I could fucking get like coins and shit. I was like, man, I gotta beat the best record. Like, I kept on playing this, and Andy, when you popped in on the stream on Kick, or just in general, by the way, like I found the elevators, and I'm like, whoa, like this is good replay value and all that stuff. There's a lot of, and you get to go to the vending machine where you could open up and have a little charm that you could put on the suitcase and stuff.
What's this?
Yeah, I got
Shinmu,
yeah. I got the chainsaw guy that I put on the.
I think I did too. That's weird. I didn't want to use too many charms. I didn't want it like I have the pre-order codes thanks to Zach because he got me the game. And I didn't want to trade. I didn't want to switch to the gold case with all these little dingle dangles on it because it feels silly. But they all give bonuses, so I feel like I have to use them. So Leon's like, let me just break out my case. Oh, it's shiny gold. It's covered in like Japanese girls' cell phone charms. Oh boy.
No,
this doesn't feel right.
the selling point for the gold case is the red velvet inlay.
I do like that. That is cool.
It makes me want to get the other ones because there's a black case you can get later and a leather one, a red leather one.
Oh, I haven't seen that one, but the black one has started turning up in the shops for me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I forgot about these pre-order codes. Was that only for physical copy, or was were you able to get that for digital too?
I got it for digital. Yeah, I got the
Shit,
digital.
I need to look that up. I don't even think I've done that. I could get my hookup.
Did you get it on Amazon?
No,
I
just got it digitally on the PlayStation Store. So maybe I can't get it. I don't know if it came with like deluxe, for it was like a special thing.
I don't know.
Whatever.
Yeah, I think it was only a pre-order thing, or if you buy the deluxe package. I don't know if you could get it like individually.
I hate to be a chump. I hate to fall right into Capcom's hands with this, but I want some of that DLC costume jazz.
Oh yeah, dude, it's fucking hilarious, and it's funny that you could put like you could turn Ashley into like an emo punk chick and stuff.
And scene girl.
Yeah, scene girl.
Scene girl Ashley.
Yeah.
I actually like her redesign though. She's got like that kind of jackety deal, blazer. Yeah, I don't know. I think she looks fine as it is, but yeah, some of the other stuff's pretty cool.
She looks more than fine.
So yeah, I played that game. I played that game, and I
She's
played.
Fucking 21.
Okay, good.
I thought she was like 18.
No.
Oh.
She's like 20 or 21 or something.
Yeah.
Well, why can't I see up her skirt? They ruined this game. I'm gonna write an angry Facebook post. Blah, blah, blah.
Don't
Touch
worry.
grass, you bitch.
Don't worry, modders already have naked fucking Leon and fucking naked Ashley already.
What
so-
about naked Louise?
Probably, I wouldn't put it past them. So yeah, they brought up that I played fucking MLB The Show 23, and the reason why I went hard on that game is because I can't fucking win. Like my record ranked is 10-27. Like it's annoying.
What's the worst baseball team?
Pittsburgh Pirates.
Well, stop playing as them.
No, I'm not. I'm doing what every sports game does these days, where you open up fucking baseball cards and they're your player for your team and shit. My team name is the New York Gabagools.
Gabagool.
It's the XFL of baseball.
Yeah. So like it's annoying because like I have I don't know if Andy knows this player, Shohei Ohtani. He's like one of the best Asian baseball players. He plays for the Angels. He pitches and he also fields every fucking position, and he's also a DH. He's like one
Wasn't
of the
he on the cover of MLB one year or something?
Yeah, last year.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah.
Yeah. So like I got his card. He's a 95. And he's every time I pitch and I put it in the position where I know they're gonna swing, these motherfuckers are hitting fucking bombs off of fucking Ohtani. And I'm like, what the fuck? I just did a fucking slider that moves like it's silky smooth like a baby's bottom and shit, and nobody should be fucking hitting that baseball out of the fucking ballpark.
You gotta reset your modem. That's what you gotta do.
I gotta fucking hit the fucking I gotta hit the fucking lag switch just so that it can't fucking hit the ball.
You need to get good.
When I streamed that one time, I actually got a couple of wins. I'm like, wait a second, I suck when I'm not streaming, but I'm fucking okay when I'm.
I thought it was funny. You played all day and bitched about it in the group chat, and then you finally streamed at like 1 a.m. I was like, that coward! I swear to God.
Dude, I was getting angry. I was like, I could fucking murder someone and wouldn't fucking care right now because like it would be like the bottom of the ninth. I'm like winning 5-0, and then all of a sudden hit. All right, guy on the base. I just need one more out. Hit. Oh, fucking 2 guys on the base. Hit. Oh, I just need this fucking out. Give me a ground ball. Fucking grand salami. And
you gotta walk out to the mound and yell at the pitcher, man. He sounds like he sucks.
Yeah,
you fucking deep throat choke artist over here. Just like
it was like a fucking hooker on a Tuesday. It was fucking terrible. But but yeah, I finally got good at it. I kind of stopped playing because 1, Mania, and again we'll talk about that on Thursday, and 2, I wanted to play Resident Evil, and that's what I did the other day. So all right, since I got the games out of the way, what did I watch? I watched a movie that had a wrestler in it, Dave Bautista, and it was Knock at the Cabin, which the director is M. Night Shyamalan. It's on Peacock, by the way, if you want to watch it. It's okay. It has a good message in it. It's kind of like telling people stop fucking being assholes. But it's Dave Bautista and like 3 other people come to the cabin, just 2 gay guys and their child. And they're like, you need to sacrifice one of the 3 in order to save the world and stuff. And shit happens in the movie. I recommend it. Dave Bautista is like funny as a weird nerd. I don't know how to put it, but like, go watch it. I think out of every wrestler that went into the movie business, Dave Bautista is like the best, in my opinion.
Well, he actually tried to be an actor.
Yeah.
He's got some range. Yeah, The Rock is the same character in every movie he's in.
Exactly right. Yeah, I was about to say The Rock gets by on being The Rock, but Batista's actually like trying to be an act man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming you're talking about Knock at the Cabin.
Yeah.
Okay, yes, I had stepped away for a second. And my headset's plugged in because it's dying because I'm an idiot. But yeah, it sounds like a cool movie. I'm glad you said it's worth watching. I need to check it out.
It has a good message. It's not like it's not stupid to the point where it's just like, man, these people are fucking dumb, and that's why they're coming to the cabin to kill these gay guys. Like it's not about that. There's actually a message. and they're not trying to kill a bad anybody. See, I'm like almost spoiling it. Just go watch it.
Yeah. It's not like that other movie where it's like save the trees or we'll fucking kill you.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
no.
Or the trees will
Happening.
murder you.
It's got Mark Wahlberg's best acting.
It still has like M. Night Shyamalan fucking roll your eyes. Why the fuck are you in the movie kind of shit? But it's like done in a fucking funny way. So
Sure.
yeah. Another thing that I watched last night was the Raw after Mania, and this is also the news that Endeavor, who owns UFC, has now bought WWE, which means that Vince McMahon is back in power because he's part of the board now. Essentially, if Endeavor wanted to, they could fire him, but I don't think they are because based off of the interview that I watched, the chairman of Endeavor, it was sucking Vince McMahon's dick throughout the whole thing, and I don't think that's ever going to happen. But apparently he's back in power and he's changing shit during the show. Where
Which is
apparently
what he used to do.
Yeah, which apparently Bailey was supposed to be part of the show, but she got cut out of the damage control stuff. And remember when I don't know if I put it in the Big Trouble, it might have been to Getting Some Color, but Seth Rollins had a segment during the show where he came out and people sang his song and then he just fucking left. Apparently there was supposed to be more to it, and during a commercial break, the producers that were by ringside said that there was a change by Vince McMahon, and that's why he literally pretty much left. Now, I don't know if it was supposed to be something stupid or Seth Rollins was like, I'm not going to do that, and he just fucking walked out. I have no idea. But it's so annoying that he doesn't understand that he's fucking terrible, Vince McMahon, on doing shit. He's already rich. Let fucking Triple H did fine.
Well, you know what he'd say? He'd say, "Well, look at all I've built up. I created this. I'm obviously genius."
Yeah, but
Yeah.
yes, but it's like you had a chance to have a good feel moment on it. And keep in mind, we're gonna get deep into Mania and Getting Some Color. But what really spoiled the main event, the people that were waiting for a really long time, was Cody versus Roman at Mania. We thought we were going to have this feel-good moment because Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens had a fucking good moment to the point where, like, people were emotional in the fucking stands when Sami and KO won. Like, that was a feel-good moment. Then you're just like, oh, man, it's shaping up that Cody's going to win. And then he just fucking loses. He has that dusty finish where he's like, get next time, baby. It's not your time. And, like, there's so much interference.
That's for somebody else, baby.
Yeah, it's so much interference and fuckery. And then on the Raw after Mania, they do this angle where Cody Rhodes is teaming up with Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns and Sikoa Solo. And then you're just like, this is kind of a weird fucking team up. And I remember in our chat and Getting Some Color, I'm like, what if fucking Brock Lesnar now is an honorary oos and shit? And lo and behold, like, I was partly right. Fucking Brock Lesnar just fucking beats the shit out of Cody Rhodes. And I just feel like now I'm still speaking from emotion, but I just don't see Vince giving Cody the belt. I feel like he has to go through essentially hard time, baby, and like show that he's not an all elite fuck. And eventually when he's fucking again, totally back with the WWE on Vince's standards, maybe he might get the belt, but I truly don't think that's ever going to happen. And that's why I said there's so much stupid fucking variables that could happen. There could be something with contracts. There could be something with injuries. There could be some like fucking weirdness where all of a sudden like another superstar is more amazing than Cody and he's getting the push and they just totally forget about Cody Rhodes. But it pisses me off that he should have had that fucking moment at that time when you're building up that, Dusty's never got the belt and this is the only chance that Rhodes will ever get the World Heavyweight Championship. And that could never happen because of those variables that could happen.
Well, Rhodes already had a World Heavyweight Championship.
Well, in
multiple
WWE,
times.
in WWE,
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I know they don't like to acknowledge the National Wrestling Alliance World Championship, whatever.
I just think it's really scummy. And then like having that information that Vince is back in the seat, or as he put it, back in the weeds, even though he said he's not going to be back in the weeds. That's always a fucking lie.
You know what the funniest thing about him being back is?
But
He got a new contract back with the company, so he's in for 2 years. And one of the things in his contract is that before, when he was in the doghouse because of all his scandals and shit, he had to pay back the company for all the costs of the investigations that they had to do, which ended up being like $15 million or something.
yeah.
And there is a clause in his contract where basically if he decides to quit for good reason, whatever that means, that's the wording that was used, or he's severed, unsubscribed, he's going to get that exact amount of money back. So like the money he paid for the damn investigation back to the company, he's going to get it back no matter what happens to him anyway.
Yeah, I mean, he's great. He's a great businessman. Like he $9.5 billion he got with this Endeavor thing. But I think he only did it for power play to get back in his seat, and that's what happened. So
he did it for selfish reasons? No.
Yeah, I mean, he held the company hostage in January, effectively.
mhm.
I mean, he literally said, I will not, he has majority shareholders. He said, I will not vote for or against anything related to a new TV contract deal or a sale unless you put me back in the executive chairman role. And then his first act was he immediately fired people and put two stooges that would say whatever he wanted in the role of the other board. Like, I don't know what people expected. I mean, honestly, he depending on how things should go, he should at least be indicted depending on how those things play out, because it is, again, it's a federal crime to use publicly traded money to pay off people when you have sex with them and try to keep them quiet.
Well, the thing is, I think he used his own private money, didn't he?
No, that was the claim was that there was a mix of his own private money, but there was also money that was used by the company. Like that was at least.
Are we talking about wrestling, or are we talking about current events now?
Yeah, but
both.
Right. So anyway, like I don't want to go through it anymore. So I went and vomited, came back, and we were still talking about it. So I'm fine moving on because I'm salty as fuck about the whole thing, because I was like, well, finally, like it's the product that I wanted it to be, and it's now it's probably going right back to where it was.
That's what fucking annoys me. Is like finally I was like, man, this is what WWE should be. We're actually getting some good storylines, good wrestling. You know, H is fucking doing some great things. He does some questionable things, but at least it's in a path where there's a net gain. There's actually people watching the show and excited for WWE. Now it's
not anymore.
They're gonna lose all those people. It's gonna go back to, oh man, fucking AEW has 900,000 viewers, and fucking now Raw is 1.2 million viewers. Wow, Raw just won barely. Cool. And like,
I mean, I don't know what the details of what happened on the Raw last night. I mean, other than like some of the highlights that was brought up, but like the rating and stuff for the show that people have been giving it has been really low. So I think people
the Raw after
upset.
Mania was supposed to be like a big honking deal.
Exactly. It's supposed to be fucking amazing. It's supposed to be like, wow, this guy came back and we're having great matches and everybody's fucking chanting and they're all jizzing in the fucking.
It was flat.
Cum is coming out of the fucking air while things are happening. And instead,
I fell asleep for an hour. I won't lie to you guys. I was in the recliner and I was like, watch this, and I was like, man, the beginning of the show is interesting, and then everything after that was fucking boring, and I fell asleep.
Yep. What's funny is they built that whole idea that the Raw after is supposed to be a really big deal, but they haven't actually had a Raw after Mania that has been a big deal or done anything of note in like almost a decade. And every year it's like, oh, this is the year they'll finally bring it back or do it, and they don't. It's like, but that was just a fucking flat note.
I disagree. I mean, again, it's still a far away, but that part where Roman Reigns goes in the ring and fucking everybody's booing him and telling him, fuck you, Roman, and then he just goes, it's my yard now, and he fucking leaves. Like,
I know you're just a troll. That was fucking terrible.
No, dude, I was there. Like, it was awesome. everything in that night was fucking awesome. But then
No,
again,
I'll go to bat for that moment too. That was actually fucking amazing.
yeah. But yeah, I digress because I know Andy's already going on fucking Twitch saying wrestling, boo, boring, unsubscribe.
That's okay. Him and Chaz will talk
That's
about
just a fan. That's a super fan.
He's just going to talk about
Guy.
Pokemon cards for 30 minutes. It's fine.
He's the Scott Steiner. He's like, turn the channel, go somewhere else. It sucks.
Yeah, but that's all I got to say. I just had to get that out of my system. I'm kind of with Zach a little bit. I'm just gonna monitor and see what's gonna be good and what's gonna suck, and I'm just gonna stick with my old school shit. So,
Yeah.
And
well, with Thursday we're gonna talk more about it. If you want to listen to us bitch about it for 4 more hours, that's probably what's gonna happen.
yeah,
So.
They're going to bitch a lot more than I am, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, we're gonna bitch.
I'm
We're
not
gonna
that
bitch.
mad.
I'm gonna
Just
change my tampon out mid fucking show because it's gonna get hairy up in
That's
this.
Just disappointed.
piece.
that's it. I'm watching Impact. Andy, what the hell you been watching, playing, or doing? And if you have any news, just bring it up.
I already said I played Resident Evil 4 remake. I'm enjoying it. I got to the castle. I'm still Resident Eviling.
Did you get your Red 9 stock?
Yeah, you know I did. I was like, as soon as he had it, I was like, give. I was like hanging on to spindles just in case.
It's a lot better, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a lot better. I'm using it and the starting pistol situationally because I got the laser sight as well. So the starting pistol is still kind of my go-to, but if I know I'm not going to be in any tight situations, it's the Red 9 just because it's my baby. And I still got the shotgun and the rifle too.
Sweet.
So I've got a pretty full briefcase, but it's been working out pretty well. I keep forgetting I have grenades every once in a while, but I love flash grenades. The flash grenades are the only reason I got through the goddamn siege at the house.
Yeah, they help a lot.
But I watched a movie on Netflix called Passing. It's the kind of movie I don't want to criticize too heavily because of what it's about. It's about like racism in the 20s. But man, the movie's boring. I'm sorry. Like, it's cool they made a movie about that, but it's just nothing happens in the whole goddamn movie. And it's just like it's all like women gossip shit. And I was like, this is boring. I hate it. So don't watch that. Recently, this week was the 24th anniversary of The Matrix, I think. And I was reading into The Matrix, and before they made The Matrix, the Wachowskis made a movie called Bound. It's it's kind of hard to describe. It's about two lesbians stealing a bunch of money from the mob, I guess, in a nutshell. It's a really good movie. It's really underrated because a lot of people don't know about it. It came out and it did like okay. It didn't make a lot of money. It's got the guy who plays Cypher, Joe Jennifer
Tilly's
whatever
in
the
it.
hell his name is. Yeah, he's like he's the husband mobster kind of bad guy. He's pretty much the bad guy. He's great in it, and it's got that woman with that real distinct voice, Tilly something.
Yeah, I just said Jennifer Tilly.
Yeah, Jennifer Tilly. She's in it, and she's extremely good. And the other woman's actually pretty good too. She's also famous.
Gershon.
Yeah, yeah. But that movie's really good. I can't believe people don't talk about it more because I guess the Wachowskis wanted to make The Matrix, and like, no, you got to make something more down to earth ish or something. So they made a movie where lesbians steal money from the mob, which is still like pretty outrageous. It's really good. It's a great movie. I highly recommend it. It's on Amazon Prime and it's pretty short, so check it out. And I also watched the Australian Grand Prix. You guys bored me with wrestling for goddamn felt like half an hour, so I just want to mention the Australian Grand Prix was outrageous. It had 3 red flags, which is the most any F1 race has ever had before, and the end of that race was, like I said, outrageous. I think in the next to last lap, 5 cars were destroyed and taken out of the race.
Shit.
It's just what happened is they had like 2 laps left, and there was a red flag because there was a wreck. And so what happens at a red flag is everyone goes to the pit, and then they come back out grouped up like it's the start of the race. So there's 2 laps left, and everyone's like, oh shit, there's only 2 laps left, and I'm only, a fraction of a second behind even first place. I've got a real chance here, but I've got to be really aggressive. So in the first 2 turns, 2 people are in the gravel. Both of the Alpine cars are literally in the wall and destroyed. The third place driver, Alonso, is like spun around by the last remaining Ferrari car. It was anarchy. So then there's another red flag. They said, no. Like after 10 minutes of debate, they were like, look, whatever places everyone was in, that's it. We're just going to run a lap. No one's allowed to pass. And then we're just going to wave the checkered flag. It was like, what the fuck? I don't know. The race is crazy. It's very, very unique. But I had fun watching it.
Those cars cost a fuck ton of money.
So much. And also not just that, but the way the rules are now, they're only allowed to have a certain amount of like pieces. So every time you wreck a car, now you've got to go the whole rest of the season with only like 1 or 2 more front spoilers or powertrains or whatever. Yeah. So, I mean, it's devastating, like you say.
Yeah. We got a question.
Yeah, just a quick answer for you, because we're not talking about writing or anything. Guys, I have a question. How I write a great story for a main character. Go on YouTube, search the term AuthorTube, and there's a bunch of people on YouTube who are authors and have writing tips on how you do a great story for characters and stuff. I would do that if you want a answer for that. Right now, I don't have an answer for you, so I do apologize. All right, Andy, you continue. I'm sorry.
That was pretty much it. Also, the Australian Grand Prix started at 1 a.m., which was a huge thorn in my ass. I watched half of it, and I just had to go to sleep.
That's my 9 o'clock.
Not unlike Zach watching Rock.
On Monday nights.
How much is the F1 fucking app thing or whatever shit?
It's 60 something, 5, 9, nice. I don't know, something like that.
For a year?
Yeah. It's cool too, because on the app, not only you can watch it with the F1 commentators, you can watch it with the Sky Sports commentators, and you can also tap into any of the 20 drivers, and it'll show you their helmet cam, and you get to listen to their team radio. It's really neat.
Man, that's cool. I was going to get the World Rally Championship one. They have their own app, but it's outrageously priced. It's twice the cost of that.
Yeah, luckily Formula One gets to piggyback on the infrastructure that Sky Sports already affords them. So
they do all this other shit though, like they GPS track where the fucking drivers are and stuff.
Yeah, they do that too. It'll show you the race course and it'll show you exactly where every driver's at.
Like, man, if I had more spare cash, I'd probably do this, but I don't right now, so I can't justify it. It's I don't. There's no streaming service I pay for that's fucking $20 a month. Like shit. Like,
well, Netflix is near there soon.
Yeah, it'll be there soon.
I don't know. If you want to try out Formula One, let me know. I'll loan you my login. I didn't say that on air. Did someone say something just now? I don't think that's true.
Fuck your life. Bing bong.
I didn't hear it. Something.
Zach.
What?
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 Zach, what the hell you been watching, playing, or doing? And if you have any news, say it.
I will. So I been playing Resident Evil 4. Of course, I defeated it. Actually.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
It's beaten. Very tough. I think it's harder than the original for sure. But I like that about it. It feels challenging. It doesn't feel like bullshit. It feels like I've got careless. A lot, like, say I die 5 times, 3 or 4 times out of those 5, I feel like was legitimately my fault. Oh shit, I wasn't paying attention. That's on me. But it was great. What I said about it, I had this feeling before it came out. I was like, this is going to be like the Resident Evil 1 remake for Resident Evil 1. This is the same thing's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what happened with this. And it's not like people can say that's better, this is better. That's fine. I don't necessarily look at it that way, like 100%. To me, it's like that Resident Evil 1 remake superseded the original, but the original is still there, and it's its own separate experience. You can go back and play that and have that experience.
I think I think what it's really good is that they took our advice. Like Resident Evil 2 remake was cool. Then Resident Evil 3 remake came out, and I know it's different teams and shit, but we all complain like, why the fuck did you cut shit out? And then they're just like, you know what? We're gonna do what we did in Resident Evil 2 remake, and then keep things in Resident Evil 4 and
I
make
still,
it.
yeah, I still really like Resident Evil 3 though, for the record.
Yeah, I do too. But
Yeah,
people, I agree with them. They should not have cut anything out.
yeah, most fans will say that, but yeah, I don't want to get I don't want to get too much into that though, because I mean, I basically want to talk about everything, and it's not time for that yet.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just kind of like waiting until Friday till Mercenaries comes out, and I haven't started my second playthrough yet. I was going to, and I was like, no, you know what? I think I'm going to hang back a little bit and wait. And I'll start it after Mercenaries comes out, and I'll do everything I want to do.
What was your? I'm just curious. What was your go-to loadout by the end of the game?
Oh, so I stuck with the Silver Ghost, which is the default pistol. I kind of fucked around a little bit with the others, but I stuck with that one because I've never done that before. But also because, like I explained before in the chat, in these remakes, all the guns are really different from one another now, to the point to where like they all have their purpose pretty much. It's good. It's going to depend on what suits your taste best, like what you do tactically, what you like and shit. You can't say one pistol is just better than all the other ones, or for example, just for that one specific weapon class. Stuck with that. I stuck with the Skull Shaker DLC shotgun for a while because it's so small and compact. It saves you a lot of space in your inventory compared to the default shotgun. It's got a wider spread because it's a sawed-off shotgun, but man, it has that punch though still.
Mm-hmm.
I use the bolt action rifle. It's a Springfield 1903.
Yes, it is.
I like that you could use the iron sights on it too. It's fucking sick. But that's a neat feature. I switched to the Stingray, which is like the semi-auto rifle later that you get. And retired that. I told myself I'd try to play through with the first rifle again later. I used the bow gun sometimes, especially if I was low on ammo. You can also use that to stealthily kill guys because it doesn't make a sound when you can kill people with the bolts if you're good enough.
I've noticed I've been getting mileage out of using the rifle from far enough away. It won't always alert them.
It doesn't, yeah, because it's like I guess because you're far enough away from everybody.
Yeah.
I leaned pretty heavily on the TMP for a while, and then you get a spoiler alert. You get an MP5 later.
Nice.
I love that gun too. And I used the Broken Butterfly, and I switched to the Killer 7 later.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
I love the Broken Butterfly. I was like, I'll play this later. I'll use it later.
Is the DLC only in like weirdo collector editions or anything, or is it like something they just have, or what?
No, you can buy it piecemeal if you want.
Cool.
I got a question. Like, where did you hear that rumor? Because like that to me, that sounds like in today's gaming age, I find that too good to be true that it's coming out really soon.
What rumor?
The DLC. You said it's coming out like in.
Well, Mercenaries is confirmed, isn't it?
That's confirmed. It's coming out Friday, April 7th.
But you said something else was coming out.
The Ada Wong.
Yeah.
That's been confirmed. That is DLC.
It was data mined, I think.
Yeah, they said it was coming out anyway.
Oh, so you're just saying that it might come out soon?
I said,
your opinion?
People are unsure of when it's supposed to come out. Some people, for some reason, think it will come out with Mercenaries. I've not seen anything to support that. I don't know. I don't know. So they haven't released enough information about
Maybe
that
it's going to be like, remember when Resident Evil 2 Remake had their DLC and it was just like, you could be Kendo just, shooting things. And
it's not going to be like that. They said it's going to be expanded on.
Okay.
From what the original was. So
all right.
I hope it comes out sooner rather than later, though. I don't want to wait a half a fucking year to be able to play that.
Well, that's why I was like, with today's age, like everything comes out like a year later or something as far as DLC.
If it's like a month or two, that's fine. I don't want to wait till fucking October like we did for like the Village DLC. Well, not even that. We waited over a year for the Village DLC that we were supposed to get.
I hate to be a bitch about that kind of thing, but honestly, after that amount of time, even if I really loved a game, like it's hard to go back after you've moved on. The new DLC is out for Forza Horizon 5, and I love that game, but I'm playing Resident Evil. Like I don't really, I feel like I'm done with it, but I'll go back eventually.
Same here. Yeah, it's kind of tough to go back to certain games. For some games, I don't mind at all. Like I'll go back for this when it comes out. I'm just being selfish. I want it to be out now.
I want it now.
Now, damn it. But, that's all I played, though, really. I watched, of course, WrestleMania. I'm not going to talk about it. We'll talk about it later. I also watched a movie, The Great Silence, which is another Western.
That's it? Is it Italian?
It is Italian.
Yeah. Yeah, I talked about that recently, didn't I? Or am I thinking of another one?
I think you're thinking of a different one.
Ah, damn it.
This one's, I don't think this was widely released outside of Europe for a while. It seems to me like it didn't really come stateside until about 10 plus years ago or something. But it's interesting because the thing that I saw it in a YouTube video where somebody was talking about Westerns. It was a Razor Fist video, actually.
Yeah, this is the one I watched. Sorry to interrupt.
I couldn't remember.
Yeah, I talked about it. I don't know, January maybe. In December, Criterion Collection put up a bunch of westerns that all take place in the snow. They're like, these are all snow westerns, and this was one of the best ones.
Oh yeah, it was. But yeah, the thing that struck me most about this movie was like the guy Silence uses a fucking Mauser C96, and it's like weird and anachronistic kind of. I mean, it lines up with the timeline because it takes place in 1898, but it
just would have been like an extremely expensive gun. Yeah.
How the fuck did he get that? That gun's only been out for 2 years. It's only made in Germany.
Yeah.
But it's kind of spits in the face of the characters in the movie even say something about like that's like the sheriff is like, oh, that's that newfangled mechanical gun I've heard of. I've heard it's not very accurate. After he just shot holes through potatoes he threw in the air.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of a weird fucking comment to make after you saw somebody do that. But good movie. It has a bit of an unexpected ending, I think.
Yeah, big time.
Big time. I like it. It seems like a lot of people really, really, really like it online. I don't think it's that good though.
I liked it a lot, but that ending, it's a lot.
This is what I would say about I didn't hate the ending. It's just like it's kind of like Dubs and Chaz they're red assed about the WrestleMania, the main event. It kind of feels like that a little bit when you watch this movie.
An ending that is shitty could ruin a movie. Like it could literally have an amazing beginning, middle, but once the end happens and it's fucking terrible. Look at Game of Thrones. That's a perfect example. Fucking amazing until that final season and that ending.
It's not like that. It's just it really does match the tone of the movie in that the ending is just bleak.
It's very bleak. Like this whole thing about, man, there has to be a good ending. Like honestly, that's generally considered to be an American thing.
Yeah. You're just telling a story. Tell a good story.
Europeans don't look at it that way, or even the Japanese either. But like, when I saw it happen, I'm like, damn, that's not what I thought was going to happen. And I thought about it for a minute, and I'm like, I guess I'm okay with it. If anything, it's got balls to end that way, So read between the lines, whatever you will about it. But yeah,
it's worth watching at least once, I think.
I'm not opposed to not like happy endings or things that end open ended or end in a bleak way. I'm fine with that.
I love Cowboy Bebop, and it ends terribly. It's one of my favorite endings ever of any anime, and it's arguably, not even arguably, it is a bad ending. Spike got the bad ending.
Yeah. he did the fucking quick play, and he did all the bad options, and they're like, "Yep, everybody dies. You die. Bye." Sorry, spoilers. You had a while.
Yeah. The last episode's sad, but the episode where Ed leaves is the one that always makes me saddest.
Yeah, it's kind of rough when
Mhm.
that happens. But then I guess this isn't really news. It's just something I've been talking about in the chat like in the past week or so, where this is about Resident Evil 4 kind of, but it's more about generally the whole series and something that I've noticed over me being a fan ever since the beginning, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
There was a time when so this game's come out and everybody really likes it, but now we're starting to get these kind of shitty fucking articles. I'm not gonna make any bones about it. I hate the fucking gaming press. I think they're all hacks and shit.
Mm-hmm.
They're just they don't come off genuine. They all come off like fucking assholes to me. I don't know. The hobby used to feel like people that wrote for it and worked in it. It felt like it used to be enthusiasts, people that actually like cared about this stuff. It doesn't feel like that anymore, and it hasn't for a while.
Those people all moved on. They're all like making podcasts and YouTube shit now.
Yeah, but like bad articles are coming out. Stuff like stuff about Resident Evil 4 specifically, like. One was like, why does Capcom want me to take Resident Evil 4 so seriously, Tony? Like shit like that. and like stuff like I don't Andy, you liked Resident Evil 4 a lot. Does it bother you that it's more serious now?
No, it doesn't. I don't understand why someone would think that's weird. Capcom spent millions of dollars on this game. Of course they want it to seem, like they want to give it a little bit of I don't know, weight to it.
Yeah.
I think
like it doesn't all have to be goofy nonsense. I realize it's a zombie game, but
I think that's what Capcom did well with the remake is you had people like me, which I despised fucking Resident Evil 4 back in the day of the direction that it was going in, and they won those people back. Like it's kind of a sweet mixture of like, hey, you could have the goofiness and also the survival horror. There you go. Fucking stroke again.
That's what I don't get. Like it clearly has both of those things. That people are like, why is it so grim, dark, serious? Really? Is it that like
it's not
Leon
that serious.
Reaches for a key and two blindfolded women strike at him with chainsaws through a wall. Like it's silly nonsense. It's just done in a way that feels big and important, but it's not, or it doesn't matter.
I think it's just journalism in general in these days now. Like they have to find something in the goodness and turn it.
No, that's
down.
1,000% what it is. They said Resident Evil 4 is popular. I'm gonna write something about it that's gonna turn heads, and Zach's head spun around off his spine.
That's some of it too. It's getting to a greater point I have though about it though. Like this whole thing where Resident Evil 4, like I remember when it first came out, like generally speaking, reception was very positive for it. I'm talking about the original. And then like over time, like I want to say maybe about 5 years after it had come out, people basically never stopped talking about it. It's like one of those games. It's always going to come up in a conversation about the whole of gaming, whatever you want to call that. And after a while, I noticed people started saying things like Resident Evil 4 is ironic. It's self-aware that it's goofy and shit. And it was smart of them to make an ironic Resident Evil video game and ditch the overarching plot, which annoyed a lot of the fans that happened. And that's not true. That wasn't their intention. They didn't make a self-aware, ironic, haha game. They just thought that was cool. I'm not joking. That's like Shinji Mikami didn't say, yes, I made this game to poke fun at the tropes. No, that was never his intention.
Would it diminish the final product if you learned that is why they made it at all?
Not really, but what irks me about it is like people basically made something up and acted like it was true about it. And it's kind of like fucking brain wormed into like the collective consciousness of like gaming, and people think that about Resident Evil 4 now, and it's not true.
I'm just I'm a zombie Chad. So like when when there was no zombies, I'm like, this is fucking stupid. What the fuck? Why is there a fucking alien coming out of them? Like
That whole thing though has colored everybody's perception. Some people, not everybody, a decent group of people about the series before Resident Evil 4. They think it's all just really fucking silly and shit. When not really. I mean, the first game had like the kind of the bad voice acting and all that, but the poor localization. Yeah, and that was not. I mean, that was an accident too. But no, it was played straight. Honestly, the whole thing was. And there's just been like this shift over time, where like at first Resident Evil, everybody thought really nicely of it, and then after a certain point, they started to turn on it, and then you get to Resident Evil 4, that's great, and it's like, oh no, it's ironic, it's fun, it's funny, it was silly. Resident Evil was always silly, guys. No. I don't like that. It's just, I don't know. It's something that always irks me about how game journalists talk about this series, and it feels like they misunderstand it. Like they just want to put whatever they think onto it. And everybody buys
I feel like that's sorry, Dubs. I'll be fast, but I feel like that's kind of what your hang up, and I feel like everyone's hang up is going to be with it. Is if that's what you get out of it and you enjoy the game, that's literally the end of what it needs to be. Like if you think, oh, this is a subversion of horror tropes and it's poking fun at cliche, great. But then they're trying to say, we all think it's this. This is fact. You guys, this is how the game must be interpreted. That's what irks me.
That's what bothers me. Yeah.
Yeah, the gatekeeping and all that.
No, some people think it's I guess a serious work of fiction. Some people think it's just good old fashioned fun. Like, it doesn't matter if you play the game, you like it, you win.
I think it kind of reminds me of how the greater public or like film critics look at the horror genre in movies too. It has a similar vibe a little bit, where they want to say like, oh, it's self-aware, it's goofy, when it's like that wasn't really those guys' intention. They just made a movie they thought was cool.
Some of them might have.
I think. Oh yeah, don't get me wrong. Some people did do stuff like that on purpose, but I'm talking about like at the pretty big movies that weren't really like that at all.
Like Mando Hand of Fate. Like I'm pretty sure they're like, we wanted to make a fucking scary film and then turn into shit.
Those guys just failed at everything.
Yeah.
That movie was a genuine attempt to make what they thought was going to be a cool movie, and it just fucking failed.
Yeah.
But stuff like I don't know, like the first Nightmare on Elm Street, for example, is not like ha ha ha. It was pretty fucking serious.
Yeah, that like I really hate when they do that in like horror movies. Like obviously Freddy Krueger, like yeah, he says some funny fucking lines. Like if you're either drunk or high and you watch one of those movies, yeah, you probably chuckle at what he fucking says. But I hate when they
funnier as they went though.
They did.
Yeah, they did. But I hate when they take a franchise like that and you're just like, we need to make it more serious and stuff. It's like, no, that's not the point. That's not the fucking point.
I mean, in both Nightmare on Elm Street and Resident Evil, they're trying to apply a blanket statement to something that has like a dozen or more entries. Like that's stupid.
There's all kinds of not interpretations, but like all the entries in the series have like distinct feels to them, kind of. Some are more serious than others. Some intentionally, some unintentionally, like the very first one. But yeah, I just don't like it when you paint things with a broad brush like that and try to pass it off as like, oh, that's the whole thing. It's like, I don't know. That's like that dumbass shit. Man, Dark Souls is hard. It's so goddamn hard. It's the hardest game ever. Those guys just make really hard games.
That hurt Dark Souls. I genuinely think that. Man, I should have followed through on making that video, but I really think like people are like, oh, that's its identity online now. But I really think that hurt Dark Souls in the short term. And then it overcame it, but
yeah, not to mention the other thing where everybody wants to say everything's fucking Dark Souls too. Fuck, goddamn. I'm done though. that's all I wanted to say. Is I don't like that.
MLB The Show is a Dark Souls of fucking baseball games.
Whatever the fuck that means. Don't paint with broad brushes. Just Just play shit and draw your own conclusions, please.
All right. But other than that, anything else?
No, I'm done.
All right, Chaz, you are up. What the hell you been watching,
Yeah.
playing, or doing? If you have any news.
This episode is the Dark Souls of our podcast because something happened in between, and my soul has been taken out, and I have nothing left in me. So I've had a lot of shit going on with work and life, and I've just been really sick. So I've not done a whole lot. I like jokingly in our list of things, I watched the first 15 minutes of Wall-E because I've never watched that movie, and my daughter wanted to watch it.
What?
I've never watched Wall-E. Actually, funny enough, the first time
pretty good.
I tried to watch it, I fell asleep 15 minutes in. Well, guess what? Shit happened again. I have no idea. I've just been sick. I
You
slept
didn't
for
even
like
get off the planet.
slept for like 12 hours. That's what my wife said. She's like, "You didn't get off the planet. No wonder you fell asleep." I was like, "Yeah, but I'm sick. What do you want from me?" The little bit of time
Get
I had
healthy,
with the
bitch.
with
Yeah,
the
get
fucking-
healthy, you little bitch.
I guess. Fucking blame the fucking crotch goblins I have to take care of for a living. But
I will.
anyway, I think I played Overwatch once. I don't know. It was probably fun.
I may have played Overwatch.
It might have been the fever dream. I
We
don't
were
know.
drunk. We made
No.
out once. I'm not sure.
I don't know
Yeah.
if it was the promethazine or if it was Tracer, but I did something. I don't know.
Yeah, something time traveled, and it wasn't just me this time.
Now tell me you were so sick that you bought like a pallet of fucking Pokemon cards.
Oh, that is a thing, and that's actually why I'm disappointed. If you're watching this in video form, you can see that I've been down for a while. I had a plan to use my webcam, like the camera, and I was going to show everybody the stuff I opened because the newest set dropped. And yeah, I got my ass got a case of the booster boxes on a good deal, and I was like, yeah. And I opened a bunch of really good shit. Prices have went down, which hits on this set. This set is really good. But I was gonna show off the at least the stuff because of all the secret rares in the set. Since it's a new one, there's like 60 secret cards, and I've opened over half of them. I've opened most of the money cards, and I've got multiples of actually some of the really expensive ones. But I was gonna show them off, but I can't get my camera to work now. It's like being all funky. So
Shake it.
it is what it is. So
Punch it.
yeah, I'll fix
Twist
it
it.
later.
Twist
Bop
it.
it.
Bop it. Skip it.
Rip it.
I watched Boruto.
Believe it.
Still watching. We'll talk about that later.
Hey, what does he say? What's his catchphrase?
He doesn't have one. He
Acknowledge me.
basically like everything sucks. So he's like, oh, that's gay.
That's his catchphrase. That's gay.
No, but kind of. He's just always really mad. And it's funny, like, because one of the other characters in the show, anyway, his family's phrase, like his dad's phrase, was "what a drag," and now that's his thing. But then Boruto kind of rips on that too and says it sometimes. I'm like, you can't do that, you little shit. Stop taking catchphrases from
Fucking
people.
thief.
Catchphrase thief. Believe it.
Yeah, I don't know. There's some weird time travel thing. He's met like his dad in kid form. It's confusing. I'm not gonna get into it. But the Pokemon stuff, I was like excited to show off all the cool things. I opened a bunch of those alternate arts, but including like the weird like waifu one. It was like super expensive. Yeah,
she's
they'll go
wearing
up in
books.
price.
Oh, she's so hot. Oh my god. Oh, I'm a Pokemon collector.
Yeah.
I was gonna say something, but I don't know the age of the person, so I'm just not gonna say it.
Yeah, I mean,
She's a teacher, so I guess she'd be of age.
She
I
has
don't
to
know,
be an
man.
adult.
You can assume, but yeah, I'd be careful.
I don't know, man. Pokemon, like, they send kids out in the fucking wilderness and shit. Like, I don't know.
It's because there was a war. Did you not pay attention in the first?
This is
Get
the
out of
deep
here with
lore.
this. We're not doing this now.
Yeah.
There was a war. And kids just got in the
The
world.
wrestling, when I asked for it, I had to listen to the fucking race car vroom vroom shit. I had to
It
listen to
took
Resident
like
Evil.
5 minutes. You
over
guys
and
talked
over.
about wrestling for 30.
I thought I was
Talk
going to
about
die
wrestling for
here.
30.
We will talk about post-apocalyptic Pokemon. There were no males. There's
They're
only
nukes.
females. Lieutenant Surge was like, the war was crazy. Here's my Raichu. Vroom vroom. And yeah, it was a weird thing. Kids were doing shit. A bunch of
is
men died.
So is Electro like essentially nuclear bombs and shit for the war?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know how that all works. That's kind of fucked.
Just
Yeah.
just Google dumb shit Pokemon Redditors believe.
Oh, it's a Reddit. See, it's a
Oh,
Reddit.
that
thing,
was some
yeah.
shit that existed before Reddit was around.
Yeah, it was still, but now they believe.
No, Andy, I will not go
If
to.
Reddit was around back then, it would have been on there.
Yes.
Andy, no, I will
Yeah.
not go to Rule 34 Pokemon. No.
Rule
Oh.
30. It's the 34th rule in the second Pokemon generation. Just look it
Be
up.
careful there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. If you want the government to look at your computer a little more closely, follow your history. But anyway, yeah, I didn't do much else because again, life and being sick and shit. But I'm kind of getting better. I'm shooting out nice gooey bloody bombs of mucus. It's fun.
Oh Jesus. Well, for a
It's-
second, I thought, well, like when you were turning off your camera and like we didn't hear you, I thought you were just like puking into like a bucket or something.
Oh no. I was being all dramatic earlier. I didn't actually vomit. I'm not doing any of that. I'm actually better. It's just I've still got a lot of fatigue and congestion and shit. I think I've got a sinus infection, but that's again, it's whatever.
You have all the sickness in the world. Your body's like getting all the sickness. You're gonna be super.
You're gonna be
Shredder.
Super Saiyan 2 by the end of next year.
I'm pretty sure if I finish my bingo card, I'm gonna get like donuts for a year or something for free or some shit. Because I just again, all I've got left is
fucking Entenmann's.
I gotta get HIV and fucking
left in
bubonic
this line?
plague or something.
Oh,
There's a-
herpes. God damn it.
Herpes.
There's
No,
a cure
I
for HIV now.
got herpes way back in the day, so we're just dealing with that. But
Yeah.
What else can I get? Tetanus.
yeah, well, I hope I don't get that.
Spinal tuberculosis.
Jesus Christ, I hope not. Turn into a fucking
What about
ganado.
Ligma?
You'll turn into Morton. That's what he
Yeah,
had.
that's right.
Spinal tuberculosis. See, it
Yeah.
all went back to the movie. I get it.
You full circle. I'm proud of you.
Did we all play? Did we all play Red Dead 2?
No, I've played no
No.
Red Dead.
Oh, go play! It's so good. So
I
good.
haven't played 2. That's the only one I
I've kind
haven't
of been like
played.
holding off. Like 1 was one of my favorite games of that entire generation. I know I'm gonna love 2, but I just when I start it, I want to know that I can like dig deep. You know what I mean?
Oh, you're gonna dig
I
deep.
haven't played 2, but I know exactly why he even said it, and I just wanting to say why he said it. But I know there was a trigger word that made Dubs bring up Red Dead 2, but I don't want to say it because it's a spoiler.
Was
But
it
you're
herpes?
welcome. Yeah, it was herpes.
Yeah.
It was
Syphilis?
herpes.
No,
So-
what Zach said. Chaz is right.
See, I knew it. I knew it because I already it's been spoiled for me. But it's like shit, that's crazy. I really do need to play that game and watch the horse nuts
Yeah.
shrink and enlarge and all that.
Bears are fucking terrible in that game. It make me fucking scared. But
I have no news or anything. I'm just chilling. Again, cool stuff's happening kind of in my life, but can keep it hush hush for now.
yeah,
So
I'll just hit with the. Yeah. Anyway.
yeah.
Remember, guys, Pale Rider. That's what.
Pale!
Not the Ghost Rider, just pale
Yeah.
one.
Not
Yeah.
High Plains Drifter, but if you watch that one, you might get by.
Remember to watch Pale Rider and then come back here. We'll talk about it. This Thursday, me, Zach, and Chaz are going to be talking about WrestleMania 39. I can't believe 40 is going to be next year. That's wild. But anyway, catch us on all podcasts and services. We're also on kick.com. So if you are on kick.com, please hit that follow button, which is JoeDubs35, or on Twitch. Also on Catch Entertainment's YouTube and Big Trouble's YouTube. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. That helps us get in the algorithm, and I do appreciate that. But I think we'll end it here, and we will see you next week. Bye, guys.
Thanks for listening.
Bye.
I have a question for God.